Move on to Chapter 2, Fields of War. The Flying Devil. Who are these people? Other than Starscream, we all know who Starscream are.
They're all members of the Seekers, so they all share the same body type as Starscream. They're all different personality. So essentially the whole point of the Seekers are that they share exactly the same model, but different names, different coloration, and with that different powers. With
way cheaper than the toy manufacturing.
Well, yeah, that was kind of the purpose for them, but it's a lot easier for the characters as well. The animators are a lot easier because it gives them a simple cartoon model to use.
Your orders are clear, Starscream. Infiltrate the Cybertron underground and reactivate the Energon Bridge. I want that power.
It's all going to be grey.
What? Nah, the second game manages colour. And that's certain Cybertron.
Occasionally they have some slight changes to bits of them. Sometimes the heads are slightly different. But the idea is that they're all pretty much the same.
Report back to me when you have found the bridge. Megatron out.
Typically in the original cartoon there were 6. They were divided into two sets of 3. You had the original 3 were Starscream, Skywarp, Thundercracker, and you also had the ones who were referred to by the fans as the Coneheads. Because the nose remained part of their head design. The wings were slightly different with their design as well. Those were Thrust, Dirge, and Ramjet.
We should avoid it to prevent detection.
So Skywarp has the ability to create sort of rips. Essentially, he's able to sort of jump. If that makes sense. He has a teleportation ability, essentially. Skywarp's capable of teleportation. Thundercracker was supposed to have the ability to create these huge sonic booms. Thundercracker, the clue's a little bit in the name.
Thundercracker.
I have never traveled this deeply into Cybertron.
We're all here for Starscream and his maniacal plans.
You're as boring as ever, Thundercracker.
Starscream is always competent in what he does. About as competent as my flying. Back it up.
But they're all very different in personality, at least in part.
Yeah, Starscream's the whiny one. And this conniving one.
Watch out! What is this? Some kind of Autobot trap?
Okay. We have a trap in front of us. What would Starscream do?
Try and trick the trap, normally.
No, walk into it. Starscream's an idiot.
He's not an idiot.
I don't know, this game he can I'm an idiot. Or at least up his own exhaust port. I don't know. Robots have asses. They have no need to. They don't eat. Well, fuck it.
They have a fuel source. They'll need fuel,
Well, yeah,
but that's
fuel.
in the same way that everything does.
Fuel. Can't eat fuel. I'm pretty sure it doesn't have an ass.
The power core has to be somewhere in this room.
Found it. It looks like the flux capacitor, but we shot it. So that's where Doc Brown got his flux capacitor from Cybertron. Which means Back in the Future and Transformers are canon. Which means... No.
Autobots, this is Zeta Prime. Be on high alert. The Decepticons are planning to reactivate the Energon Bridge. This would grant them access to an unstable energy source powerful enough to jeopardize the entire planet. Any Decepticon activity must be reported immediately, and all Decepticons are to be shot on sight. Zeta Prime out.
I read more entertaining maintenance reports. Alert!
Just shooting them.
Weapons overheated. Heads up, Decepticons!
Oh, just melee him. With my weather apples.
That was easy.
The others will likely be tougher. I suggest we proceed with caution.
Going up.
My neural circuitry is stinging. Getting past this thing is impossible.
Keep looking, you fool. The answer is here somewhere.
Megatron and Starscream like the word fool.
I'd blame the script writers, really.
Take it off.
Writers. They both use the word a lot. Fool. Although Megatron used the word fool usually when referring to Starscream. Whether he's in the room or not.
Very often, you're right.
Yeah. And shout his name very loudly and very angrily.
Quickly, get to cover.
Starscream does not need cover. Starscream now refers to himself in third person.
Starscream would definitely take cover.
Yeah, behind Megatron usually. Because he's behind Megatron, Megatron can't shoot him. Ah, Starscream, you're...
He's still my favourite.
You can have your favourite. I'm not. I'm only cracking jokes because he's your favourite. I couldn't give two shits about Starscream. We all know Bumblebee's where it's at. The true
No,
hero.
don't give me that.
The true hero.
Bumblebee is a great character in the original cartoon. He's very fun. But he's got this huge hype that's developed with him as a result of the live-action films. Bumblebee's not a bad character. It's just a matter of the hype sort of makes them less... They don't live up to the hype.
You're just saying that because you like Starscream better.
I'm not just saying that. There are loads of characters I like. I don't dislike Bumblebee. This weird hype that's gone around him, though, I find a bit odd.
You won't like later on, he's skimming.
I know he's... I know Bumblebee's in the game. I know he's a playable character and is very important to the plot. Bumblebee is, and always has been, a very important character in Transformers. I'm not anti-Bumblebee.
Crude energon is highly volatile, and flying this close to it is very dangerous. We should proceed with caution.
Tighten your logic circuits, would you, Thundercracker?
Does that even mean tighten your logic circuits? Get a foot with robot. Oh god, Starscream's drunk. This is why you don't drink and fly, kids. I don't even get drunk, and or an equivalent of drunk. Maybe if their senses are screwed up. I don't know.
They can get drunk.
You know this from experience. Well, there was an off-show party I once had with the Transformers. Things got wild.
The idea is that they can get drunk. They can get inebriated.
I know what Transformers After Hours. Well, they're all pissed, and
They've done that in the cartoon.
that's
comics.
yeah. Just Megatron trying to hug him. Everything comes out.
Not together necessarily.
By Megatron, Starscream start hugging. All just there.
I didn't say all of them.
Oh yeah,
There's a
you're
lot of
right.
Transformers.
One needs to be Designated Driver. Which comics were these? Was it the Marvel ones with the Car of Doom level of...
No, the IDW ones have had them get drunk.
Not the Marvel level of comic genius that was their Transformers run. You know, they're just having fun. Which is what Transformers does best.
Getting close.
It doesn't take itself too seriously.
Just on the far side of this canyon.
Or are you one of these Transformers is serious business?
It can be fun. I don't think it should be taken itself too seriously to the point of being like it's got no fun whatsoever. It should have peaks and troughs, but at the same time there's a thing of it needs to respect continuity and what they've established as canon. But it's got to have some kind of...
Yeah, Michael Bay.
That Autobot
God,
ship is generating
respect the
energy
canon.
over the entrance.
I can see that
The
for
deep and
myself,
rich canon
Thundercracker.
Transformers has.
Babbling. Destroy it.
Target the motors first.
Starscream just blowing shit up.
This thing is as crazy as I am.
Just blast it. Breaks like everything else.
What a wonderful line. This thing's as crazy as I am.
Yep. Yeah, spin, Starscream, spin. I like the vehicle modes, they have infinite ammo. Ow, got more to the fine. Alright, back. Gotta move around, people. Gotta move around. It's casual flying. It's casual flying. While we blow more towards that one.
Excellent. Now
Oh wait.
aerial bots.
I'll show them some real flying.
We flying. These levels are always fun. We've got new flyers in the second one. They're a helicopter, whoever they are, but I forgot. Look like we narrowed it down there, helicopter. You have seeking missiles. The boom, boom.
The blast doors are open! Quickly!
Watch out for those rocket snipers!
Enough of this nonsense!
Does that really count as a sniper rifle when it fires rockets? I think at that point it's a rocket launcher. That reminds me of the shotgun in Borderlands that fires rockets. Does this really count as a shotgun now it fires rockets? Melee, melee. Anyone else want a piece of Starscream? And his plans for domination. Transformers meets the Borg. How come that hasn't happened yet? Yes, it has.
Give it time.
Then everything will be crossed over with everything.
Close the blast doors and seal the ship! We'll trap them inside!
Orders, Starscream.
These guys have shields.
Locked us in here with their power core. Plant a dip pack on it.
There is one massive flaw with that plan, Starscream. You're in the thing you're about to blow up. I'm sure Starscream has an option, an idea for that. He pulled that death pack out of his ass.
Warning. Warning. Warning.
Unbelievable! These Autobots are dumber than Skywarp!
Perhaps, Starscream. But have you considered an escape route for us?
Try the upper deck! Hurry!
That's Starscream's plan right there. They're cleverer than I thought they would be. Alright, shoot it off.
Dumber than Skywarp? I'll show you, dumb Starscream.
You always do.
Ooh.
Yes.
With the sass.
Will do.
So this is his favourite level because it's Starscream.
Did you see that?
That's a weird sound.
Creepy looking thing that just jumped over the
Well, I assume you know what that was.
Nope, I didn't see anything.
I should have left you two on the station.
You always need two comedic psychics to talk off Starscream. You got nothing from being Megatron's lackey.
I think I saw something. You think you saw what?
Silence! It could be an Autobot cloaker. Keep your optics sharp. There! Destroy it!
Yeah, but they're invisible. How is just something we can't see? Ah! Flail wildly until they die.
Stick shot. We've got company. It's overheated.
Alright, this is playing with a shotgun. Well, the Transformers are equivalent of a shotgun. Damn, these things are being cloaked. Also dark, which doesn't help. Because their cloaks aren't perfect.
No, that's very true.
You can see the shrimmer, but in dark makes it even harder. Come on, come to Starscream.
Come on.
He'll give you a hug.
Feel the power of my wrath! Get the power back on
He's usually very impotent. And Siegel, he's in charge of the Decepticons for about 15 seconds. Before that goes down the shitter.
The entrance to the underground.
He manages to cock that up.
Shield generator. These Autobots are getting on my nerves. Bring down those shields.
Starscream, who's just joined with the Decepticons.
Rocket attack.
Because otherwise Megatron would kick his ass. Not that Megatron won't kick his ass now, he is a Decepticon.
We got another one.
Do, 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 do.
Bang, bang, there's scrap.
No one is as fast as Starscream.
Whoa. Awesome. Anyway, I asked you a question at some point about Transformers having genders.
Yes, you did last week, didn't you?
Go on then, let's hear the explanation for us.
Well,
Sure, you've got one.
it depends on what your source material is.
Well, I remember in the film, the animated film, there were female. Or a female.
There is a female, the very
Like-
first, and the,
You're like, well, I just question why, because the reason we have genders, other than to argue about it on Twitter, is to reproduce. The whole reason there's two genders. How the hell are robots? Oh, you're about to tell me Transformers reproduce.
well,
In
again,
the same way humans reproduce.
It depends on your source material again.
Go
There's
on,
different
then,
forms of how Transformers are able to reproduce, essentially. So, you're ready for all this?
Go on then, you've got about 8 minutes ish.
Alright, so sometimes it depends on...
I even paused the game for you. I even paused the game for you to cut the noise out. That's timing, that is. That's timing, that is. I've started again now, but carry on.
Right. There are different forms of a Transformer being created in the original cartoon and across the comics as well, even across some of the films and in the cartoons. So, one of the ways you have is they're simply constructed mechanically. That's how the Dinobots were made in the original in the 1980s cartoon. The Dinobots were literally put together. So that's one way of doing it. Another way is sort of a bit more mystical. It's the idea that they've been infused with life by some kind of godlike thing. So, like the Matrix, Vector Sigma, Creation Matrix, the All-Spark, Sparks, and things like that. So there's lots of different ones. That's a bit more divine. There's a big thing to do with that in the current IDW cartoon, whether they were forged or constructed cold. That's neither here nor there. Another one is, of course, Resurrection, which Optimus Prime's been through God knows how many times.
He's died so many times.
Megatron's been resurrected in some shape or form, so have a lot of the ones associated with Galvatron. So Cyclonus, Scourge, the Sweeps, they're all resurrections as well. Quite a lot of them have. Gen 2 comics, you had budding. So like mitosis, that kind of thing. That's how some of them were made. What you were suggesting about the idea of why female Transformers exist. There's never been any kind of suggestion quite so much in that Transformers are able to reproduce sexually. They're very much deemed to be sort of, in terms of their
I'm pretty sure DeviantArt would disagree with that. Give me 2 minutes.
No. I mean as in having a child in that way.
Yeah.
They can't reproduce. But reproduce is not the act of sex.
Well, no, it's, yeah, it's
Sex is a different thing. Reproduction is literally is the procreation of new life through that act. Sexual reproduction. Now, the nature of female Transformers is an interesting one.
Okay, I see why they exist, to bring in the girls.
Gives me the creeps.
What, in the literal sense?
Well,
in the
yeah,
brand
because
sense?
why Hasbro made them.
Well, no, it wouldn't have been that. Oddly enough, it wouldn't have been that for that reason at all.
Not to try and bring in a female audience to it.
The very first female Transformer was RC.
I've never seen these life forms before.
That's just unkind to call her RC.
It's ARCEE.
I mean, oh yeah, I was trying to be funny. It's
It's an
wordplay.
ARC-E.
Carry on. I'm gonna be quiet now.
Well, no, actually, RC wasn't the first one, because you did have female Transformers in the cartoon before her as well. Now, that lends itself to the point of where did the origin of the Transformers come from, which is an interesting topic. So some believe, in some continuities, the Transformers' origins are tied to Primus, the first Prime, who created all of them. In others, it's linked directly to the Quintessons, who were the creators of them. If you follow the route that the Quintessons were the first to create the Transformers, the reason that female Transformers exist is because they did it in a sort of, not parodying, but a sort of mimicry of biological life. So they created females or beings that appeared female to sort of mirror biological life, organic biological life. That's why they came from in that one. That's one origin for them and how they exist. It's a rough gender analogue, more mental than anything else, really. They are generally an anomaly. They're
Anomaly.
by and large, of course, you are, as you said, they are referring to a species that reproduces asexually. A lot of the time, they don't tend to be given a lot of focus. The more modern comics and the TV series, they put a bit more focus on the female characters. It's an issue that we've spoken about at length.
Yeah, let's not get in that dog pile again. Let's just leave that.
Um,
We've got next year to get into that.
But the exact origins of why they exist depends on where you're looking at in the first place. The idea of romance is a very different one as well. In the IDW cartoons, in the IDW comic strip, even female Transformers were introduced a bit later on, and it was considered, and that became a big plot point as well, because up until that point, every single Transformer had been male, and then some signed to G-Axis, who was not a Decepticon. He was a bit morally ambiguous, very much on the dark side. Decided to do some experiments and bring the idea of gender into the Transformers race, and so forced, essentially mutilated some volunteers to become female.
Volunteers or volunteers?
Volunteers. Well, it's left ambiguous again. Some might have actually genuinely volunteered for the change, but the idea is it was a gender reassignment. And the idea of doing it to see what would happen to the race, because the idea of this is an all-male race where you don't reproduce in that way, but he's going to introduce the concept of gender to see how it would affect the race. In that same continuity, though, there was the establishment that female Transformers did exist previously in the past, and what G-Axis was doing was reintroducing the idea of female Transformers. That's what he was kind of going for in that one. But it's left ambiguous as to exactly why he did it, for what purpose, and things like that. It's complicated, by and large. But they are a lot more present now in the cartoons as well. You've had female Transformers exist in the Beast Wars cartoons, of course. Black Arachnia was a big thing, and they had a whole sort of romance element then going on between Black Arachnia and Silverbolt in Beast Wars cartoons that permeated throughout the entire series, including into its following series of Beast Machines. There is a heavy element of romance involved in that. So the exact idea of gender in Transformers is a weird one. It's an it's a complicated issue because, like I said, it depends on your source material.
The station is only showing
that nicely.
50%.
Does that answer the question for you?
In more ways than one. Although, like any good answer, it raises even more questions.
Yes, it does.
Answer it, not really, it just raises a lot more questions.
It's a complicated issue, and like I said, it depends on what you're using as the source material.
I think giant robots, I think they need a gender. I could ask what makes the other ones male, but that's another debate.
Well, like in both senses, it's literally it's psychological and mental. Physically, there's no real difference. Because they don't reproduce in that way, it's just a mental state. It's the difference of essentially what pronouns they use and how they view themselves and one another. In the comic series, the one I was telling you about, to do with RC. Mm-hmm. There's a literal line that she says to do with she's referred to as a her or a she, and she said, but you don't even realise that you guys are doing it. You recognise that I am different. I'm the same as you, but I am different in some way. But they don't. But it's the idea of the default setting for a lot of people when we refer to an unknown being, he, they. We go for what does he want or they want. Often in our minds, people might refer the default for a lot of it is male, in terms of referring to it in a vernacular sense. And the Transformers is exactly the same as well. So what we're doing with that is because of a mental difference in the mental chemistry, if that's such a thing, the term makes sense, of how they refer to a female.
Right.
Should we stop there?
Yeah, if you got more.
No, I'll stop there.
If you mention pronouns on the internet, this is already going to explode. So yes, man, Transformers is deep, man.
Aren't you glad you've got me here?
That's why you're here, and if you talk about things I have no idea of, and they're robots and they fight each other. To provide all the details of the lore and the little subtleties the characters have, and which toy is the best.
That's what I'm here for.
Certain toy reviews of the Transformer toys. Here is, and I know you have a Starscream somewhere.
I've got a couple.
A couple of Starscreams.
Yeah.
They fight each other over who will betray Megatron first.
Oddly enough, I don't think I have a Megatron.
You don't have a Megatron?
I might have one.
Just Decepticons or no Autobots?
I've got a couple Autobots, but I'm mostly a Decepticon guy.
Yeah, you're one of those.
I like the bad guys.
Most people do. Generally, bad guys are the better characters, better written characters. Anyway, we're gonna leave it there before
Yeah.
it goes even more off topic.